What up, YouTube? This is Aaron from The Heroic Reality, and today we're going to be doing a review of a little TV show that just came out recently. It's a Netflix exclusive. You might see some hashtags here and there being like, oh, hashtag blah blah blah, it's an okay show, it's okay. Maybe some people saying it's bad, it's just a show, False. No one says this show is bad. No one says this show is okay. This show is something else. This show is on a whole new level. You know what we're about to do? In this review, we're going to delve into the reasons why Stranger Things, this Netflix exclusive, Stranger Things, is one of the best shows I've ever seen in my entire life. Here's something that we need to do before we get into the pros and cons, okay guys? What we gotta do is I gotta give you a synopsis of this. So essentially, this tale follows the events of a mysterious creature escaping the lab of a mysterious government agency and a boy named Will Austin Powers? A kid by the name of Will goes missing after he leaves playing D&D with his bros. And he goes missing, and then it follows the events of them trying to find him and do a bunch of stuff. And it's an intense show, okay, guys? This show, it takes serious cues from many of the great suspense and horror writers that we all know. It takes cues from Stephen King, and then I can't even think of the people, dude. It's just so well done, and it's centered in the 80s too. And when you watch it, you feel like it's an 80s, like you feel like you're in the 80s essentially. Everything is set perfectly in line. Everything is just, it's all 80s. Even the title scene, the title screen is all 80s. It comes from a Stephen King thing, just all 80s. Comes up there, and the music's not all 80s, but just it all centers around the 80s. You know what I mean? Now I'm rambling here. Apologize. All right. So what we got for you today is we're gonna do what we normally do: pros and cons of the movie. But you know what? There's not really cons. Let's go ahead and start off with some cons, alright? Some of the few cons I have is to start this off, I'm going to do my best just to avoid any and all spoilers, because this is something that you do not want to be spoiled for you. You want this to you want to be surprised. It's just the same reason you don't want to be spoiled when you watch Game of Thrones. I was spoiled when I was watching Game of Thrones. Didn't have to say it was still insane. This is still going to be insane. I keep pointing here. It's still going to be insane if you watch it and you know what's going to happen, because it's just so insane. But, back to what I was going to say, cons, alright? To avoid spoilers, one of the only cons I have is obviously everyone knows shit goes down, okay? And one of the only few cons I have is that it seems at the end of the movie, or show, season, the end of the season, that no one is traumatized after everything that just went down. No one seems to be bothered at all. Everything just seems to go back to normal, with the exclusion of that huge thing at the end. But just overall, it seems a little bit like everyone's a little laxed. Loosey-goosey. That's not a terrible thing. I mean, it's not understandable at all. It doesn't really make any sense how everybody just goes back to normal after everything that's happened. And it's doesn't make any sense. To another con, I would honestly have to say, one of the only other cons. See, I can't even think of any other cons. The only con I can truly think about is the fact that no one's traumatized by this. No one's really traumatized. There's never really truly anything that stuck out to me as being really terrible and just like, why the fuck is that in the show? Why? Nothing like that ever happened. And that's really rare, because shows like Sherlock have that. Game of Thrones has had some stuff where you're just like, the fuck? The Walking Dead, season 2, but then again, season 2 sets up for everything. There's just like, it's just one of these rare occurrences where the first time we've seen the entire thing, the first season of this show has been one of the best things I've ever seen in my life, because it's very rare you find a show that starts off this strong on the first episode. The first episode of the show immediately has you engaged. And the entire time I was watching, there wasn't a single moment where I wasn't sitting in my chair like this, or just like on the edge of my seat or literally pacing the room. Like in the last 3 episodes, I was pacing the room like, what's going on, guys? I don't know what's going on. And then certain stuff happens in the school gymnasium, and I literally collapsed on the floor. I had dropped on the floor. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I was like, oh, that was awesome. I freaked out, and I fell to the floor, guys. It was insane. It just starts off killing it. It starts off running, starts off strong, and you just blast through it all. And you're watching it, you're like, I don't want to stop watching it. I've seen it 2 times, guys. I've seen it 2 times. Watched it once by myself, and my best friend came over, and we watched the entire thing together, and he was sitting there like, dude, I really want to watch the next episode, but it's 4 in the morning. And I'm like, I know, man. So we went to bed. But it's still like, bro, this show, it doesn't slow down at all. It continues to go. It goes, and it goes, and it rises, and it rises, and it rises, and it never drops. It's just an escalator that never stops going up, and it just gets crazier every single episode. It gets more intense every single episode. This show does nearly nothing wrong. I've seen little to no flaws with it, which is extremely rare because I love pointing out flaws in things. Which, if you watch my reviews, it doesn't really seem that way because I tend to focus on more of the pros because I don't like to tell people not to watch things. But when I watch things, I like to focus and be like, that's stupid. Why is that there? The fuck? And when I give reviews, I don't like telling people not to do things because, you know, if I enjoyed it, even though there was stupid stuff, I'm gonna tell you to go see it. You know, I enjoyed Batman vs Superman. There was stupid shit in that movie that didn't make any sense until I saw it again, and then I understood it all. But I would still tell everybody to go out there and see it. I was like, yeah, go see it. It's a good movie. See it. This isn't a good show, guys. This isn't a bad show. This isn't a great show. This is a phenomenal show. One of the best shows I've ever seen. It has the strongest start of any TV show I've ever seen, without a doubt. All right, now that's sort of delved into pros there, and I really want to. It was a really, really weak burp. That sort of delved into pros, and I'm not really into. I didn't really tell you major pros. Okay, excuse that. So one of the biggest pros I had was character development throughout the show, because every single character has development. I started off the first episode hating multiple characters. I hated the police officer. I hated the sister. I hated a lot of people in the first episode. And then and then as it happened, as the show goes on, they develop and they grow, and you see who they truly are, and what they become is amazing. And I ended up loving these characters, the ones I hated. Like, I hated his sister in the beginning. I was like, fucking brat, spoiled. And then the episodes went along, and I'm like, no, she's perfect. And I'm just there's so much development, and even in the kids too. The kids have amazing development. With the exception of the main character, not Will, but the one guy, I still go back to Cons a little bit. He has his moments where, when it comes to emotional scenes, he gets a little wonky there. Like, there's scenes when he cries and it's really good, and there's other scenes where he's like crying but angry, and it just looks like he's constipated trying to hold in a poop. It's just really weird. But the other 2 kids are amazing, phenomenal, and they have great character development. Kathy the kid with the left, who doesn't have a teeth or name I can't remember right now. They have great names. But they all become stronger too by the end of this. Every single one of them. They start off with relatively, each character is pretty weak from the start of the show. Every single one of them is pretty weak, and as it goes on, they get stronger and stronger and stronger. And a lot of that has to do with what's going on. And L11 helps bring all of this strength out in all of them too, which is a really great another plot point that they really worked in there as a pro. All right, so for other pros, we have the soundtrack. You know me, guys. I love music. I play guitar. I play piano. Music is one of my biggest passions ever. And to see their song choice and their score, the soundtrack they chose and the score they chose, is just phenomenal. There's a point in the end of episode 3 when the Peter Gabriel song comes on. It's not Book of Love, it's the other one he has. It's really, really sad. And the music just starts off quiet as things get more and more intense. You don't necessarily notice that at first, but once shit goes down and you start paying more attention, you hear the music, and it gets louder as the emotions start building, and it swells and swells and swells and swells and swells, and it just keeps going. And then everything climaxes at the end of that episode with everybody just like losing their shit, and that's when you hear in the background Peter Gabriel's like, oh, scream thing he does in the song. I don't remember. I'll put in the comments what it is. I can't remember in the description, but just the score in general is just amazing, and it's not the score soundtrack, and it just brings out so much emotion. And that's another huge pro I have for this show is when I watch things, I generally don't feel emotional. When I've watched Game of Thrones, I never got emotional at any of the deaths except for the death that happened in Hold the Door. For those of you who, that's the only time I've ever got, that's like the only episode of that show I've ever been emotional in. I just don't really get that emotional, but watching Stranger Things and the first episode alone with what happens with Will's mom and the telephone, to not try to spoil as little as possible, it just had me like, that show got me, and it's a combination of the acting, because Winona Ryder does phenomenal as his mom, as Will's mom, like unbelievable. I first saw that she was casted as the mom, and I saw her, I'm like, I don't know if she's gonna, all I think of is Mr. Deeds. That's all I think of when I think of Winona Ryder, and I didn't think she'd do really well, but she just knocks it out of the park and destroys it, and she delivers such a powerful performance. In watching her, you feel like this is her actual son, and you feel like she just wants to find him, like this is her son and she's lost him, she needs him, and it just swells it with emotion. And then the kids too, they bring in, these kid actors are just phenomenal, and they just provide so much more emotion. And just these, nearly every single episode of this 8-episode season had me sitting there at some point just like, feelings, bro, like it got me good. And nothing really does that for me. Like, I tend to just be like, family died. But I just think for them to be able to achieve that much emotion in single moments and single scenes throughout essentially every single episode, multiple scenes and multiple moments, just to achieve that much raw, hard emotion, and to make the viewer feel it as much as, I felt it a lot. And that's probably saying something because I don't ever really address emotions, but to just come across with all that emotion and to just broadcast it, and to add a combination of these phenomenal actors and a phenomenal storyline, a phenomenal soundtrack, and everything, and these moments just climaxing and all the way up until they explode. And it's unbelievable how well it did with these moments, and it's amazing, guys. And then, if we're going to be talking about moments too, non-emotionally sad moments, we can talk about the epic moments that would happen. There's so many epic moments throughout the entire show. Holy crap. There's moments with Elle when she just fucks people up, and it's like, dude! There's the flashbacks. There's flashbacks in here, which normally people get angry at flashbacks, like with Arrow. Flashbacks are getting pretty damn annoying, and I kind of don't give a shit about what's going on in the flashbacks. I initially did seasons 1 and 2, and now it doesn't really matter, because season 3 and 4 sucked. But the flashbacks in the show are so massively well done. They're not just thrown in, they're not like, hey, here's a plot point, flashback. Plot point, flashback. Plot point, flashback. Flashback. That was a stupid joke. But they're interjected at perfect moments. Like, okay, this is going to spoil something, so I'll do the thing I normally do when I spoil, is when I'm done doing the spoiler, I'll wave my arms, okay? But there's a moment, if you're okay for me telling you this, it doesn't really spoil the entire storyline, but there's a moment when Elle, because all the flashbacks center around Elle, there's a moment when she gets put in the closet at the kid's house. I can't remember his name, all I can remember is Will, but Elle gets put in the closet so that his mom doesn't see her, because if his mom sees her, she's going to call the police and everybody be like, wait, there's a random kid here. So he puts her in the closet, and she just freaks out, and she starts crying, and she just falls down into her thing like this, and then like she closes her eyes, and it goes into a flashback of when she was like thrown into all the cells and everything. And it's just like that, they're just perfectly placed in, and they're amazing, and I don't even really know, they're not overdone for one. There's probably like 1 or 2 flashbacks an episode. There's like no flashbacks in the first episode, little to no flashbacks in the first episode. They mainly start coming after that when Elle's with the kids and everything, and it's just like they get more consistent as time goes on, but they get more important as time goes on. They become more plot revealing, they show more details of the plot, show you everything, and they're just masterfully well done. The majority of the show is masterfully done. I have I've said it before, but there's nothing really to complain about this show, and I love complaining about things because it's awesome. I'll complain about anything if you want me to. I have a rant video I'm coming up with, guys, on a video game company that I really fucking hate right now, Rocksteady. And I just think that for them overall, it's such masterfully well done action moments, emotional moments, just moments, emotional scenes, action scenes, just all of that. And to have these characters that are so well done and well written, and to have the kids actually talk and act like kids, which doesn't normally happen. They always seem like they're trying to be adults in movie and TV shows, and these seem like legit kids. Like, this is exactly what they would talk about. But I do have one con that I just thought of now saying that, is that it does seem a little convenient that they know all of this stuff about, like, interdimensional travel and all that crap. It seems a little convenient that they're this smart. Like, that these 3 kids happen to be this smart. But as a storytelling standpoint, I don't really give a shit, because it's still amazing regardless. And that's just, like, the most minute complaint ever. It just seems a little too convenient that all 3 of these kids are essentially just brilliant geniuses who are just able to figure out all of this stuff, and it's pretty damn amazing. But overall, though, dude, this show is phenomenal. There's nothing really else there's nothing you can say about it. I don't really have that many complaints about it. Most people I see who watch it never really have any complaints. The only complaints I've ever heard would be that no one gets traumatized and that it's a little too convenient. That's about it. And if you haven't seen the show already, you need to see it. Stranger Things is one of the best produced, most well acted, best scored, best soundtracked TV shows I've ever seen. It has the strongest premiere of one of the strongest premieres of like ever of all time for a TV show, and one of the strongest for seasons too. Not many shows have this strong of a premiere and then it just keeps building. It is a very rare occurrence that you will see a show start off this strong and never let you down, and it just keeps going up and never drops. This show is phenomenal, and without a doubt gets my first ever 10 out of 10 score for anything. This show is a 10 out of 10. It's phenomenal, and just the anticipation waiting for season 2 has got me just freaking out because I want to know what's happening next. I want to know what's going to go down. It's amazing, and you have to check it out, guys. You have to check it out. All right, thank you everybody for watching. This has been it's been a legit review of me, and I've got an entire, for future reference for what I'm going to be doing with this channel is, so Craig, he's really busy. We're working on getting more podcasts out for you guys. We're trying to figure out what to do, get the ball rolling. We were going to do a Comic-Con one, but stuff happened we weren't able to do. So we're going to try to get the ball rolling, get more podcasts out for you. What I've got working on for you next, though, in the meantime, while we're waiting for the podcast, is I have a Suicide Squad review coming up that'll be released sometime during this week. And then I have scheduled an entire year of videos I want to produce for you guys, essentially. And it's going to involve the 3 main things I wanted to work on. I was going to be doing a Batman from the beginning of when Adam West was Batman all the way up to the Dark Knight Rises, do reviews for every single one of those movies, and those are going to be every other month. And then we're going to be doing Spider-Man, so starting at Spider-Man, and then go to Spider-Man, so Spider-Man 1, 2, 3, Amazing Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then that's going to conclude with Spider-Man Homecoming, and then we're going to go from Homecoming to Superman reviews. We're going to go from Superman 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to Returns, and then to Man of Steel. Oh yeah, the Batman one will be interjected with Lego Batman movie, which I'm super pumped for. Hopefully it's great. It looks hilarious. And along with that, we're going to be filling in reviews as they come. And I have some Halloween specials that'll be coming out next month that I'm hoping. It's not going to be strict horror movies because we like to stick with the same thing here, but I'm really hoping you guys are going to enjoy what we're pulling out for you guys recently. And as I said previously, I'm currently working on a rant video about something that's been really pissing me off lately. And if you watch me on Twitch, I've ranted about it before, and I've ranted about how pissed off I am at all this stuff. And I'm really hoping you guys are enjoying it. It's going to be one of my longer videos, and it'll be just me talking like these, and I'll just be essentially just really pissed off the entire time. screaming at this company, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. I enjoy talking about it because I enjoy ranting. And yeah, so thank you everybody for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Leave some comments down below if you want to ask us anything, want to say anything. Maybe you want to give me 3 little middle fingers. This is 2 because I only have 2 hands. But you want to just gonna say screw you, Aaron. Be like, go ahead. I don't care, man. I accept all criticism. I love criticism. I'm not gonna delete your comments. Hashtag JTechTV. I'm not gonna ban you from my channel because you disagree with my opinion. We're cool. If you guys think Stranger Things was terrible, go ahead and let me know down below why it was bad. Seriously, if you don't agree with anything, tell me why. I'm open for a debate. I'm always open for a debate. I love debates. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Share it with all your family and friends. Do whatever you want. Just enjoy my videos. That's all. That's all I care. All I care about is that you enjoy what I make. If you don't enjoy it, tell me. I'll fix it. And if you want more videos, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you everybody for watching. Peace out.